Hey, you're listening to the Coffee O'Clock podcast, the show that brings you joy and inspiration, with special guests from all around the world who have an amazing story and expertise to evolve your personal and professional life. I am your host, Burcu Onaranet, the founder of Joy Marketing and Coaching. Make sure you grab your coffee and get ready to explore new ideas. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Coffee O'Clock. Today, I have a holistic integrative teacher, medical astrologer, Reiki master, and master of numerology, Joanne Angel BarryColon. Did I say it right? Welcome, Joanne. Let's do cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Coffee O'Clock. How are you? Welcome.
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and, as usual, to share wisdom, insight, and intuition.
I love it. I can't wait to dive in our topic because your work is very deep and I am slightly close to it. I'm a Reiki level 2 practitioner as well, so I know how deep it could be, and I love your colors. I have to say it. Pink is my favorite color, so you're full of that right now. It's an amazing energy. So what we're going to talk about today is we will talk breaking free of old beliefs and rewrite agreements. Before we get into that, Joanne, can you introduce yourself to us a little bit? I mean, I just shared your titles, but we want to know, myself and my audience want to know who you are and what you do.
Definitely. Well, start off with, I'm Rev Joanne Angel BarryColon. I am the founder of Wholistic Fitness NY. I have been in the health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness industry for 40 plus years. Within the last 15 years, I have blended many healing modalities into my practice and working with midlife women. And what does this all mean for them? This means they are going to get a revolutionized approach to their health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness prescription plan. As mentioned, I am a Reiki master, medical astrologer, master of numerology, holistic integrative teacher, and I'm also a card creator, which I read from my own deck. With all that being said, again, my purpose and mission is to serve midlife women and helping them to release their issues from their tissues, which means releasing their trauma and story, which is their mess, so they can share their message and be ready to be seen and heard so they can share that message, which also means letting go of those habits, beliefs, and programming and conditioning so they can rewrite the agreements that they are here to actually serve and solve.
I love it. And it is so easy to say it, but in action, it's not that easy. And it is so important to close the door to be able to open a new door, leave old beliefs that don't serve us anymore, and get into the version of us that who we need to become and who we need to be and do our life purpose. So I love and honor your work, first of all.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I'm very interested in it because I'm an NLP master practitioner, and in NLP we have a lot of modalities to work through the old beliefs as well, not on an energy level, but I integrate Reiki with my clients, so it's a very powerful work, and I'm sure yours is like multiplies the power with other modalities that you are integrating. My question to you, first of all, how did you get into it? I mean, you have 40 plus something year of experience. Now I feel like a child, like with my experience, but how did you get into it?
Well, a very long story short, when I was 12 years old, I had the opportunity to teaching my very first gymnastics class, which is known as toning classes or strength training classes. And from that very moment, I knew what my calling was, and that was to be able to help women transform their physical body. Back in 2006 or 2007, a 12-year relationship in my mind suddenly ended. And then in 2011, my mom crossed over. So between 2006 and 2011, I started going on my spiritual journey to get to know who I was on a deeper soul level without all the other interferences. And by doing so, all the different healing modalities started coming into my journey, such as becoming attuned in Reiki, learning about crystals, learning about essential oils, discovering that numbers had a specific vibration and meaning. And then most recently, really tapping into traditional astrology. And being that I am a holistic personal trainer, I thought it was fitting to study medical astrology. And a big bulk of the work that I do more recently is about helping midlife women understand who they are from a soul level, which means discovering their astrological and numerology makeup, which is, in a nutshell, looking at their natal chart, discovering what their house placements are, discovering what placements are associated to their physical body, what placements are associated to their relationships, what placements are associated with their career, their money, travel, health, and everything in between. And since doing this, it has led me into this process, this portal, so to speak, of recognizing that the work that I do is very authentic, as it should be, because there's no two people on this earth that walks
Yes.
around with the same purpose. And it took me a little while to understand that the message that I was bringing to the table was different. And I had to be able to articulate that message in such a way so I can literally find the people who needed my message, who needed the work that I was here to do, as opposed to the, as I like to call it, the cookie cutter approach to health, fitness, and wellness, and taking people down a journey that may not be so rewarding for them, where taking my approach as revolutionizing their health, fitness, wellness, and nutrition, it's a whole new way of looking at things. And more importantly, helping them to really discover who they are on a soul level, not on the superficial 3D level, which is everything we see, and also not on the level of what we've been told. Because every one of us has been told that, oh, you would be a great teacher, or you would be a great accountant, or you should study this, or you should study this. I, at the age of 12 years old, decided that I wasn't going to fall into the streamline of what I should do, and decided I was going to do what I was called to do at 12 years old. And from that moment
That's
on, I made that decision. Now, of course, it wasn't all smooth. It wasn't just a straight line to where the work that I'm here to do. There was, like anybody else, there were challenges, there were obstacles, there was chaos, like we all experience. So here I am today in my 40 plus year journey, having this hands-on experience, not only as a quote unquote healer, but having a hands-on experience as a practitioner in the health, fitness, nutrition, and wellness industry, blending those two together, helping midlife women really understand who they are from a soul level.
that is just very, very respectful. And I am like fascinated. You said at 12. How did you know who you were at 12? It's definitely a calling. There is no doubt. Like at that age, I mean, I didn't even know myself at the age of 24. And I was just following the streamline. You said, I call it like societal happy life frame. So I was following that, but I wasn't meant to be. So it's just very amazed me to see somebody who went on a journey on 12 years old at the age of 12. So that's amazing. And you specialize, you mentioned a couple of times that midlife woman. you help them mostly. And I'm curious, when a midlife woman come to you, how they come to you, like what are the issues they are struggling with and they reach out to you, and how do you work with them?
I love the question. Well, the process that most women, not just midlife women, I mean, I've worked with women who are 30, who are 20. I've worked with children before, and I really like tuned in on my niche of midlife women because it's appropriate for me because that's where I am in my life. And most of them come in with the lack of self-worth, lack of feeling seen, lack of feeling heard, not feeling accepted, not feeling enough. And when they come in with that energy, whatever it is they're looking to accomplish, whether it's a healthy relationship or a great career, that energy that they come in with blocks their possibility of having a healthy relationship, because primarily one needs to have a healthy relationship with self first before we can have a healthy relationship with someone else. Because again, how we feel about ourselves then becomes the reflection of all the different people we attract. So we're going to attract people that's going to mirror how we're not worthy or not being enough. We're going to literally attract people that don't treat us so well because that's how we treat ourselves. So as I connect with clients who come in with that energy, it's taking a look at their natal chart. And even more importantly, before diving into their natal chart, it's asking them my one big question. And that one big question is, how old were you when you first experienced either not being enough, not being seen, not being heard, or not fitting in? And they can answer all four of those questions, or they can zoom in on one question. And when we get into that conversation to the age they were, and some of them could be as young as 7, as young as 4. Some of it can show up in at 12 or 16 or 20. But the idea is getting to the root to where it started. And then I ask them at the age that they are at this point when they see me, do you believe it to be true now? Everything you believed then. And of course, most of their answers are no. Some of their answers are, well, yes, I do still believe that I'm not worthy, or I don't really deserve this, or I don't really deserve that. So there's a couple of chords that need to be broken. The actual chord of their beliefs of right now, and then of course the chord that needs healing, not even broken, healing, that inner child that experienced that very moment of time where they didn't feel enough, or they didn't feel seen, or they just didn't fit in. Now, the one thing I want to mention here right now for all the women out there, as I said earlier, we're all authentic. We are not meant to fit in. If we are trying to fit into society just so we can be seen and heard, we are shrinking ourselves. We are meant to be authentic. We are meant to literally expand ourselves enough to know I am different. My message is different. How I dress is different. And move into that confidence of not caring what other people think about you. So once we again go back to the story of when it first started, and they can move into that space of forgiving themselves and forgiving the situation, they can again begin the process of healing. As I believe, forgiveness is the highest level of healing. And when you can forgive a situation and the people involved, you break free of whatever it is that has held you back. And then this gives them the opportunity to create a new belief system for themselves. What they believe to be true right now. Now, does that mean what they believe to be true right now is what they're going to believe to be true in 6 months from now? Maybe not. Maybe they'll have a new belief. Maybe just for today, they can see themselves as, I'm ready to be seen and heard. And maybe in 6 months from now, they can see themselves as, you know what, I'm enough. And I don't have to do anything more to prove myself. So many of us, including myself, have a stack of certifications, certificates, qualifications to prove that we are knowledgeable, to prove that we know what we're talking about. And in the hindsight of things, all the things that we studied, all the certificates we have, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter. It's how you show up in your soul's purpose of what you are here. Because everything that we need to know from our soul's purpose, we have really been ordained with the knowledge and the wisdom. Again, because society talks about having to have a certain level of education. We have courses that we teach. I teach as well. So it's a business. And yes, I love the courses I teach. I love the members that take my courses, and I'm excited when they pass the course and they get their certificate. But it's the hands-on knowledge that they come in with the understanding that they already have this information. It's just now just a piece of paper that they get to show, which is nice, the recognition. I mean, I know I love when someone sends me a certificate and it says my name on it and says that I've accomplished something. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many on my wall, how many certificates I can place on my wall from the recognition. However, we don't really need the recognition because within us, we already know we're enough. We already know we're qualified. We already know that we have a message to share. So when a client, a woman, a midlife woman comes in, primarily, they come in with the not feeling enough, not feeling worthy. I mean, we take the concept of not feeling worthy and we apply it to our income. There's so many entrepreneurs out there that are really not selling themselves at the highest value possible because they feel that if they do, they're not going to get the clients. So they devalue themselves.
Very true.
And they get clients, but they're not getting the clients that's really for them because they devalue themselves. And I can literally sit there and say that when I first started in my industry, when I first started as a personal trainer, my personal training services were literally, you could purchase 3 sessions from me, 3 1-hour sessions, literally at $90 for 3 sessions. That's like $33 a session for 1 hour. Nowadays, and I maintained that price for a very long time because my mindset was, I want everybody to be able to afford personal training. So because I was so concerned about everybody, and realistically speaking, could I really serve everybody? Probably not. So I really had to narrow in and get to that place and see my value that I bring to the table. Take a look at all the hours that I spent in study, all the hours I've spent being ordained in this wisdom and purpose that I do have, and then recognize that it's time for me to raise my value and really attract the people that I'm meant to be with, that needs me. Not everybody needs me. There are so many other beautiful practitioners out there that does similar work to I. Of course, again, I'm authentic. If they really want the revolutionized approach, then they're going to be coming to me and paying and be willing and ready because they not only value what I bring to the table, they value themselves.
I love it, Joanne. I love all the things you have covered. I have been just sitting and listening to you because you, like you said, you are a handful of things. You have a lot of information in you. You're like a book to read and to receive all the wisdom from your not only life experience, but also professional experience. And some of the things you mentioned that I want to point out once again, because authenticity is my word too. Like when I work with entrepreneurs, coaches, and speakers, I always tell them, let's create your authentic life and brand, because you are authentic. Like you said, while you were explaining it, I just had goosebumps and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's my person. And she's like speaking out like in a different level. And I just loved all the things you mentioned. And I want you to share a sentence to leave our audience with. I always ask my guests, like, what would be the one sentence or word that you want to leave our audience?
May I have permission to use my deck?
Sure.
Okay. The spirit is asking me to channel the one word, the one message that the
Okay.
audience needs to know for today.
Let's see.
And as I shuffle the cards, besides the word, it's also a healing opportunity, because we are in a time now where we are working on letting go of old beliefs, old habits, and old philosophies, and rewriting the agreements,
Yes.
which sometimes could be a bit of a challenge. I love today's message. Success.
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 Okay.
Yes, success. So we think of the word success. Not success doesn't mean the same thing for everybody. Success could be a success in reference to financial success. It could be health success. It could be relationship success. So whatever success means for one person, it's a matter of that if we have a lower dense energy or a relationship with the word success, maybe success for somebody is a challenge. This is a time to recreate that word for themselves. Now, the color yellow is about the solar plex energy. This is our gut knowing that we all have the birthright to be successful, whatever that success is for that person. I'm loving the number 8 because number 8 in numerology is about harmony and balance. In astrology, the number 8 is about what you achieved and the karmic reset. It's about resetting the very beliefs that we have been programmed and conditioned to believe for years. And we get to rewrite those agreements. And when we can trust that we have the ability to do just that, just by changing our thought process, going back to the inner child experience, loving on the inner child, and then bringing that new energy in and feeling successful today. And that could just be that, wow, I got up today and I made my bed. So that's successful right there.
Great message. Love it. Love it. And how people can reach out to you, Joanna, and if you have any offers coming up or events, whatever you have to say, this is like your space to open up to our audience, and thank you.
Yes. So the best way to reach me is through email, which is healingwithin76@gmail.com. You can also catch a lot of my material on my YouTube channel, which is Wholistic with a W, Fitness NY. You can also go to my website to find most of the different services and events that I do hold right on my website, which is also Wholistic with a W, Fitness NY. And I currently have an amazing Women Empowering Women monthly group. It's private, it is a membership, and this would be a perfect time to take advantage of showing up at that event. And anyone who's watching this can receive their VIP visit from me. All they have to do is email asking about joining the group. There is a membership fee to it, and I'll send them all that information at that time. And I have an amazing summit that's going to be coming up in February. So if there's anybody who's interested in being a guest speaker to it, there's 2 spots open. I would love to have you there. And for those who are interested in participating as the audience, please reach out for more information about it at the email.
Amazing. Thank you, Joanne. It was nice to chat with you. I couldn't understand how the time passed. This happens to some of my guests. We are in like almost half an hour, and I could go longer with you. Thank you so much for doing what you do, for being the authentic you, and being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode and now you can apply it to your life. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the Coffee O'Clock podcast on Apple and leave us a review. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you feel like someone needs to listen to this episode, share it on your social media or text the link to that person to make an impact in their life. Be sure to tune in every Monday for new episodes. You can also watch the episodes and find more inspiration on my Instagram, which is at JOYYBURCU. Until next time, make sure to spend some time with you and stay with joy.